All right. Hey guys, so I'm back again today. I got some more stuff that I want to say, I want to point out, okay? Now, first, let me say this because I know that some people may be offended. I might rub people the wrong way with some of the stuff that I'm going to say, but I'm okay with that. My, you know, what I need to do or the things that I need to say and make sure that I get out, they're going to offend people. I want you to know that I'm okay with that. It's okay for you to be offended, okay? Because not everything that someone says you're going to agree with, and that's fine. But we can all agree to disagree. Now, one thing that I do believe is that in our communities, and when I say our communities, I mean people of color. More specifically, in my situation, I mean Black people. I believe that we need to check our own before we check another race. That's what I do believe. We need to check our own before we go after another race. And I'm gonna keep stressing that shit. Because before we can expect another race to respect us, we need to respect ourselves. We don't even have respect for each other within our own race, our own culture. But we're expecting other races to just have respect. Well, we're not giving it to ourselves, and they can see that. So they're going to give it to us. I mean, when that shit happens, when stuff like that happens, you're creating an opportunity to be taken advantage of, in my opinion. I mean, what happens when another culture or another race is giving you more accolade, more positivity, more opportunities, embracing you more than your own? I'm just saying. An example of this would be Black couples. Black love is so underrated. So, what happens when you have a Black person who decides to have a relationship with a person of another race? That's all I'm saying. What is it that that person of the other race is doing differently? All I'm saying is it needs to start at home. Um, so let me get into what I'm about to say. Because I want to review this Kamala Harris, Oprah Winfrey video here. I haven't seen it yet. So whatever reactions I'm going to be giving you from this video are going to be real time. Okay. But before I get into that, I want to bring something to your attention. Now, I don't care for Oprah Winfrey. I never have. I never liked her. I still don't. I don't care for her. Because in my opinion, she doesn't care about Black people the way that she makes it seem that she does. I do feel like she uses Black people to serve whatever purpose that she's serving. Okay, that's what I do believe. But I am a firm believer that like-minded people form a bond with each other. And where would you find like-minded people? In your network circles. People who think like you. People who move like you. People who reflect what you reflect. That's what I believe. And I also believe that the same stuff that they're capable of showing you, the public, they're also likely to be sharing in the types of things that they do outside of the public. I do believe that too. But I'm not one of these people who is easily convinced by anything. But once I do have an understanding about something, I do not deflect from that. Unless there's irrefutable proof or something to the contrary that would make me, more than likely, I'm not going to do that. But I'm not one of those people who are going to shy away from talking to people of my color about anything. Especially not when you have been supported by people like you, because you so-called advocate for people like you. But I take it personally when you're advocating for people like you in public. But none of them are aware of your true nature. Like the ones of like mine. The reason why I'm saying this is because Oprah Winfrey has some questionable relationships in the world of elites. I'm going to quote some of the stuff that Oprah Winfrey herself has said on her network, on her shows. Some of the stuff I wrote down about Oprah Winfrey. Okay. Some of these are my own opinions, but some of these things are things that she said. Okay. So I wrote down that Oprah Winfrey said she was raped at the age of 9 by a cousin. And I'm not sure if this was during the time where she was with her grandmother or she was with her mother. I'm not sure. Okay. But she was raped at the age of 9 by her cousin. Well, she's not the only one. She's not the only one who's had who's been essayed by a family member. It says she was molested by a friend of the family. An uncle. And a number of others. So this seemed to be a continuous thing in her childhood. Well, she's not the only one. She's not. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because she's had this experience, she somewhat has knowledge about how that would make a child feel. What a child could be going through mentally. Because if you ask me, I think Oprah Winfrey is an emotionally removed person. She's not a person who's ran by her emotions at all. With her, it is intellect over the heart. Okay. Let's see here. She said that her biggest lesson was not living her life to please other people. That was her biggest lesson, not living her life to please other people. The same thing that causes you to be abused is the same thing that causes you to be abused as an adult. Now, that may have been my own opinion that I was writing down while doing some research of hers. So the same thing that causes you to be abused is the same thing that causes you to be abused as an adult. So as a child, you could grow up being abused by others who take advantage of you, and you may think that this is the way that people show they care. You may end up being a people pleaser, not realizing that you're really hurting yourself because all you're doing is pleasing other people. But as a child, you could be seeking validation. You could be searching for something that's going to provide you with that solace. And if it means that you end up being a puppet for other people, that's what you learn to associate with how people care or show support for you. If you go out with this mentality, you can become an adult with this mentality where your friends can get over on you. The people you get in relationships with can get over on you because you're a people pleaser. You feel you have to please people in order to get to feel anything, possibly. To be included, to feel validated. Okay? This can happen to children who become adults with that learned behavior. She said, not only do you have the right to do what you want, you have the right to change your mind. She said, all things happen for a reason. You have to believe that in all circumstances. She said, if you're going to take responsibility for your actions, you have to take it in all forms. If you're going to take responsibility for your actions, you have to take it in all forms. But then she's also someone who refuses to address anyone that accuses her of not being supportive. Like anything that puts her, that could be uh, damaging to her reputation or her status as an advocate, a philanthropist, anybody who could potentially damage this outlook about her, she will not address. I'm going to read this again. She said, if you're going to take responsibility for your actions, you have to take it in all forms. I guess for her, she's not even going to take responsibility for her actions, because she will shoo you away. She will not address you. And having a spokesperson, a publicist, or somebody else talk for you is not you taking responsibility. That's not you doing that. That's you having somebody that's being paid to do that for you. So that's not the same thing. She said in 1986, the beloved movie marked the moment she would no longer allow herself to be attached to her work. So remember what I just said, that I feel like Oprah Winfrey is emotionally removed. Well, this statement supports what I just said. That after this movie, she no longer allowed herself to be attached to her work. So think about that in terms of her being a reporter for the news. Think about that in terms of her being a talk show host where she brought on so many victims. Primarily women. Primarily women. I am telling you, she was emotionally removed from those shows. She didn't care to be attached emotionally to those shows, even though she's bringing victims on to tell their story. I'm sorry, but if I don't feel the emotional connection from you, and you say that you're here to support me, what kind of support are you here to provide? Would be my question. What are you here to provide? If I'm a victim and I'm talking to you about how I was victimized, but you're somebody who decided they would be detached from their work. And as a talk show host, you say you're bringing these people on to bring awareness, but you're not bringing these people on because you want the audience. What I think is the audience may have been able to connect to the victims. I think Oprah Winfrey was good at reading people and reading her audience. And that's how she could tell that she had an effect with what she was doing. Not so much that she herself was connecting to the pain. Once again, these are my opinions. I got to keep stressing that. She said that service and significance equals success. She said, use your personality to serve the energy of your soul. Use your personality to serve the energy of your soul. She said, separate those emotions and feelings from the who of who you are. Separate those emotions and feelings from the who of who you are. Are you trying to say, Oprah, when you make that statement, are you trying to say dismiss my feelings or be removed from my feelings so that I'm not suppressed by them or I'm not controlled by them? Is that what you're saying? Because I need some clarification on this statement. Separate those emotions and feelings from the who of who you are. Because I'm somebody who can feel what somebody else is feeling. I can feel what somebody else is feeling, but that their feelings won't control what I say or do. I'm not going to say that I can't feel what someone else is feeling, because if I do that, I'll be losing control of myself. Because that's not how it works for me. I'm somebody who if you're saying something to me, I'm going to analyze that against what I'm feeling from you. Because sometimes that shit don't match. It don't match. You're saying something, but then you're not expressing the emotion that would complement what you're saying. That gives me pause. If you're able to say something, but then the emotion behind it does not match. No. She said, you get in the world what you project into the world. You project into the world what you were raised with and around. That's not an entirely accurate statement, meaning it's not all inclusive. That's not an all inclusive statement that she gave. Sure, there might be some things that you take with you into the world based on how you were raised and who you were raised around. Sure, there are some things. But I can tell you there are some things about me that nobody would know I was raised around or raised up with. They wouldn't know that. They would have no idea that I was raised that way or came up that way, because I don't project that into the world. I was raised around a bunch of nasty ass fucking pedophiles, and my family didn't have a whole lot of value, and the values that they did have, I did not support. But you will not hear anybody that I've come across in my lifetime tell you that I treated them this way. Mm-mm. Nope. She says she lives by the third law of Newton. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Well, let me say this. For every negative, there's a positive. For every positive, there is a negative. But if you're trying to live your life completely in the positive all the time, that negative is still circulating. So if all you're showing out here is the positive, all you care to talk about is the positive, all you care to exert is the positive, then the negative is being done outside of the public eye. They're not seeing that with you. These type of people are false. They're false to me. They're very fake. I don't even care to, I don't want those type of people in my fucking space at all. You cannot look at just the positive all the fucking time. You cannot turn a blind eye to the negative all the fucking time, as if it's going to magically go somewhere just because you're not giving it your energy. No, it doesn't work that way. She said, you have to change the way a person thinks. Excuse me. You have to change the way a person thinks and sees themselves. Now, how do you do that? How do you change the way a person thinks and sees themselves? Because if you ask me, you shouldn't be the one who's doing that. You shouldn't be the one who's changing the way a person thinks or sees themselves. They should be the one doing that. Not you. You should have no control over that. If someone makes a suggestion to you, that doesn't mean that you have to do it because they made that suggestion. I don't give a fuck who they are. You could be the president, you could be the pope, you could be a fucking talk show host. I don't care. Just because they say it, that doesn't mean you have to do it. What's good for one is not always good for all. What you can, someone's not always able. I'm just saying. What do you mean you have to change the way a person thinks and sees themselves? That's not your job to do. You can offer advice, you can give opinions, you can give suggestions, you can bring awareness. You can do all of this. But an addict can still be an addict. So my question is, how do you do this, Oprah? How do you change the way a person thinks and sees themselves? I would want someone to come into enlightenment about themselves with their own thought process. She said, create a sense of aspiration, hopefulness for the person to have a vision for a better life. Create a sense of aspiration and hopefulness for the person to have a vision for a better life. But to have the vision is not enough. To have the vision is not enough. You have to put the work behind the vision. You have to start making the moves towards that vision. She said, you will survive everything if you live your point of view through truth. Okay, so why is it not that you will survive everything if you live in your truth? Why is it not that way? You will survive everything if you live in your truth, instead of you will survive everything if you live your point of view through truth. Because I'm sure I can survive if I live in my truth as well. Okay. She said, find out what you are here to do. Get about the business of doing it. But she doesn't support the past. And I'm somebody who believes that you can forgive, but you don't forget. Because if you forget, you can repeat. But she says she doesn't support the past. The past includes many things. It includes seconds, minutes, hours, days, nights, weeks, months, years, decades, and people. You don't support the past? She said, give up the hope that the past could have been any different. Release the idea that people would do what you might do. I don't think you have to release the idea. I don't think you have to release the idea. I think that if people respect your ideas, they may take into consideration something that you may have done. She said, let people be who they are. Either you accept it or you don't. The power of intent, cause and effect. What goes out comes back. Is determined by your intention. The energy of your intention is what determines your life. The energy of your intention is what determines your life. So this is how I'm taking that. If you set out to help somebody with the intention of supporting their needs, then you will be judged by your intention of supporting their needs and not necessarily how their needs get met. That's how I'm taking that statement. She said the energy of your intention is what determines your life. So the emphasis here is the energy of your intention. So if you, like I said, the way I'm taking that is if you intend to help someone, you have the intention of supporting them getting their needs. But The emphasis would be placed on your intention to support their needs, not how their needs get met. I don't think so. Why did Oprah Winfrey open a girls' school in Africa? What was her intention behind that? What's going on with this school? I'm not gonna get into that part. Okay, I wrote this down about her as well. I said she felt humiliation getting beat as a child. She may have came up believing she had no self-value or self-worth. She said her teachers made her feel valued, made her feel important only at school or speaking at church. This is where she felt she mattered. At school and at church. But I also wrote down that she may not appreciate those that don't like or respect what she has to say. She loved school so much because that's the place that she felt seen. She didn't feel that at home because I remember her saying that the color of her skin was why she got treated how she got treated with the family. I wrote down that she speaks with intellectual integrity, not emotional integrity, and that she's emotionally removed from her work or her status from others. I wrote down that she wants you to tell your story, but she doesn't follow up. The dialogue seems topic focused, not circumstantially supportive. She said that forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could have been any different. She said she realized it was the color of her skin as to why she had to sleep outside while her mother slept in the house when she went to go live with her mother. Because at first she was not raised with her mother. She was raised with her grandmother. She said she had to find other ways of appreciating herself because it wasn't her looks. She said that she blessed her mother upon her passing. I'm not going to get into that, what I think that means. I'm not going to say anything about that. I wrote down that Oprah is separate from color, even when she's supporting colored people. I wrote down the list of celebs that have some affiliation or some kind of interaction with Oprah that may or may not have been a controversial topic. I wrote down that Angelina Jolie rejected Oprah's request for her to donate to her South African school. So Angelina Jolie did not. She decided, no, I don't want to donate to that school. And then afterwards, Oprah decides she wants to support Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. How interesting is that? Jason Momoa supported his community when they had the Maui situation going on in Hawaii. He visited Oprah's property on the island after the fire that separated people from their homes. But Oprah herself had a home there and was silent on the issue until it started getting all this publicity, and then these celebs start coming out. Now she wants to do something because the public is like, okay, you got property over here. Why you got property over here? These people just had this crazy fire. You're not trying to help these people. Another celeb, someone else had to talk to you before you came out to do something. You're such an advocate and supporter and all of this. But these people are suffering from a fire and you're not doing anything. But you got a whole house over there. Mm-mm. Ludacris was ridiculed, felt ridiculed by Oprah by going on her show. Whoopi Goldberg felt like Oprah Winfrey had some kind of issue with her when they did The Color Purple. There was some tension for some reason. 50 Cent hoped to go on the Oprah show to mark his success because he hoped it would impress his grandmother. Oprah criticized his music, saying his lyrics were misogynistic and glorifying gun violence. But let's keep in mind that Oprah Winfrey was friends for over 2 decades with Harvey Weinstein. She was not detailed about anything she said about him. In fact, she didn't give her own words. She quoted somebody else's about Harvey Weinstein. But you criticizing 50 Cent's rap lyrics in detail because he's speaking about gun violence or glorifying gun violence and he sounds misogynistic. Let's go here real quick. Can y'all see this? Okay. Let me make sure y'all can see this. Oprah Winfrey opened up for the first time publicly, and this was in 2017. She opened up for the first time publicly about the past 2 weeks worth of sexual harassment on Harvey Weinstein at the time. Oprah Winfrey starred in the Weinstein Company's film Lee Daniels' The Butler. So Oprah and Weinstein were friends. And then she gets a role for Lee Daniels' The Butler. How interesting. So it says Winfrey told CBS when asked about the movie mogul, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, meaning she's always trying to find the positive in a situation. That's what she's saying. And this is what I do know for sure. Something this major happens when you have a fallout. 50 women coming forward. That's a watershed moment, meaning that's a turning point. An historical moment is what she's saying, where something could drastically change. I feel like she was not trying to talk about Harvey Weinstein at all. This is somebody she chose to be friends with for some decades at this point. And now he's being accused of all these sex crimes against women. And she has little to say about him. She said it says Winfrey believes the scandal has triggered the suffering women have endured and kept hidden for an extensive amount of time. Okay, that may be true because there are a lot of victims out there that know what this is like, but never came forward themselves. So you're not telling us something that we don't know. But you're refusing to talk about Weinstein is what I'm getting. But this is your friend. You're not coming to his defense. You're not saying anything that's supportive. not in this particular article about what's going on. She said, what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had. Well, I'm not surprised that you can even relate, Oprah Winfrey, because you had a show for years that was dedicated to women victims, bringing light to women issues. You know, this was her way of being an advocate and supporting a cause. She said, everybody has a story, and so I think this is a watershed moment. If we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment. What a quick way to address him without addressing him or the allegations. Let's not focus on Weinstein. Let's focus on the women. Why don't you want us to talk about Weinstein, your friend? You don't want to talk about him. This woman had been friends with this man for over 2 decades. And she had absolutely nothing to say about him. She wanted to keep the focus on the women. But that does not deter my focus from the fact that Oprah Winfrey had been friends with this man for over 20 years. At all. She said a lot of women have been silenced. And I know, being a victim of child sexual abuse, that when you feel like you cannot be heard, and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too. There's nothing, and I'm going to keep saying this about this lady. She is emotionally removed from anything she says. She's all mind. She's all mind. All mind. With Oprah Winfrey, it's about what you say. With her, it's about what she says. But it's also about what she doesn't say. So I done said what I had to say about her and Harvey Weinstein. And here's a picture. Uh-oh. Let me see. I don't know if it's going to let me show y'all this picture. But let me see if it's going to let me show y'all this picture. I don't think it will. Hold on. All right, let me see here. Let me see. This one. Let me show y'all this. Y'all see this picture? It says if King Charles and Prince Andrew are pedophiles because they knew Epstein and Seville, that must mean Oprah Winfrey is a rapist because she was friends with Harvey Weinstein. I'm just saying. We're going to be comparing and contrasting. Let's not pick and choose who we're doing this with. She was friends with this man all this time. And no, I'm not saying that, oh, just because you're friends with someone, that means, no, I'm not. What I said in the beginning, though, is that like-minded friends tend to be around each other. They tend to do the same things. They tend to run in the same circles because they're with people who think like them. They're with people who move like them. They're with people who understand them, if you will. Now, that was Harvey Weinstein. That Oprah, we know Oprah has been friends with for so long, decades. Because you can't just look at Oprah Winfrey as being this billionaire who got all these accolades underneath her belt, where you're just paying attention to all the positive and you're ignoring the negative. No, sir. No, ma'am. That is not okay. If you're going to judge 50 Cent, because in his rap lyrics, you said they're misogynistic, and he's glorifying gun violence. Okay, these are things that you associate with rappers, right? These are things that you associate with rappers. Then I'll be damned if I turn the other cheek to Oprah Winfrey being in these circles with people who have now been convicted of these horrible crimes against women. I'm not going to do that. I am not. So let's go on to the other person that she has been associated with. Can't do one without the other. I want to share this one with you. It says Trump, Oprah, Clinton, Jackson, and Hawking, some of those mentioned in the Epstein case. Okay. Let's skip on down to where they're talking about Oprah. It says, along these lines, it is added that other clients of Epstein are the former presenter, Oprah Winfrey, Naomi Campbell, the executive president of Hyatt Hotels, and the magician David Copperfield. Other people who were mentioned in these files: Donald Trump, Michael Jackson, Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton. All of these people were implicated in this list as being a part of this pedophile network. So Doesn't mean she's guilty of anything. Not saying she is guilty of anything. I'm telling you, these are the circles that Oprah Winfrey deals in. You cannot ignore that. I don't give a fuck. You can say all day, well, nothing's been proven. We don't have any evidence and all this other bullshit. Nobody cares if you don't want to look at her. But don't attack the ones of us who continue to look at her ass sideways. Because we're entitled to do that as well. And I am telling you, I'm not going to look the other cheek. I'm not going to turn the other cheek. And you know, just because there's no proof and there's no evidence. No. What is evident is that she's running in these damn circles with these disgusting ass fucking men like Epstein and Weinstein. They both have been associated with big names. These are the circles that she run in. You got pictures with these people. You were seen kissing Weinstein, so y'all had to be, you know, you definitely know him. And nobody thinks this is suspicious. Nobody. Why? Because Oprah's a billionaire? So is Bill Gates, but he was one of the people on that list. Let me read y'all this from someone's account about her as well. Okay. It says, if the radical left cares so much about women's rights, why was Jeffrey Epstein allowed to traffic and rape all those women? Why did Harvey Weinstein have 81 Oscars despite being a serial rapist? The Obamas had Harvey Weinstein to the White House 13 times. So the Obamas knew the Weinstein, knew Harvey Weinstein as well. But guess who else the Obamas know? Sean Combs and Sean Carter. They know them too. And look where Sean Combs is right now. I mean, does anybody not notice that Sean Combs, Harvey Weinstein, and Jeffrey Epstein all have something in common? So we just gonna ignore that. Is that just coincidence? Do these people not be in the same circles? Network with each other? Oprah and Weinstein have been friends for over 20 years. Oprah's good friend, John of God, and I think I have a picture of him. I'm going to show you who he is, who kidnapped, enslaved, and raped teenagers and sold their rape babies, is evil to the extreme, and Oprah is saying nothing. It shows she has zero remorse for the victims. So again, Oprah is associated with another person guilty of rape. Grape, excuse me. She is associated with another pedophile. That's 3. No, excuse me, that's 4 at this point. It says Epstein was the DNC and Clinton's biggest donor. Now, why the DNC? Why is it that these pedophiles, these known pedophiles at this point, Epstein, Weinstein, why is it that they donated to the DNC? I'm a reserve comment on that. Clinton went to Epstein Island 27 times, and by Clinton, they mean Bill Clinton. Went to Epstein Island 27 times, while Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein have been invited to the White House over 17 times. I mean, at this point, we're talking about convicted offenders, okay? They were convicted of these sexual assaults. And these are people who were at the White House. Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, and there's a reason why I'm bringing up some of these names. There's a reason why. Because these names are coming up again. Again. You cannot say, oh, don't pay attention. You know, just because their names are there. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Because I know y'all see this damn picture underneath here. Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, Tom Hanks, Rockefeller, the Obamas, Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston were all BFFs. Then you have George H.W. Bush and Oprah Winfrey's good friend Peter Nygaard, however you say his name, mega fashion mogul, arrested for trafficking. Whose island guests were Oprah Winfrey, Robert De Niro, Prince Andrew, and more. Her name is coming up again with somebody who got arrested for similar types of crimes. Trafficking. Her name is coming up again. So you mean to tell me, as long as you don't have no direct evidence on this person, that they can't be looked at indirectly as having knowledge of what was going on with the people in their circles? You ain't gonna be able to tell me that shit. Because I said birds of a feather flock together. And in this situation, they seem to stick together as well. And this is not the last time you're going to hear Oprah Winfrey's name. I guarantee you. Why is she associated with all these goddamn pedophiles? But yet she's screaming she don't have a hand in that. She's staying out the way. She's remaining silent. As is a lot of these damn celebrities that are associated with these groups. A lot of them seem to be very, very fucking quiet right now. They're not saying anything. I wonder why y'all are not saying anything. Y'all friend just got locked up. They're picking and choosing what they're talking about. That's what they're doing. You got to remember, you got two big situations going on at one time. You have the election going on, and you got the P. Diddy shit going on at the same time. And I'm saying that a lot of these people have a hand in both situations. That's what I'm saying. And that includes Oprah Winfrey. It says Oprah Winfrey, of all people, who spent the last 30 years on a television spreading uplifting messages about God to her viewers. You know who else is spreading messages about God? P. Diddy. You know who else is doing that? T.D. Jakes. That's who else is doing that. But we all know T.D. Jakes' name done came up in a fucking lawsuit. He's been photographed at Diddy's parties. I'm not putting out anything that's not already out there, because it's already out there. I don't give a fuck what you're saying. Oh, it's just speculation. That doesn't prove anything. Shut your ass up. Stay your ass in the fucking corner. I'm not talking to you. This says a classic example of how sheep are so fixated on watching for the obvious wolves only to be sheared and eaten by the shepherd at the end of the day. They are a means to an end. So you can be sheep, you can continue to be sheep. I don't give a damn. But you choosing to be ignorant. That's not on me. Because I'm paying attention. And I see what I see. And what I see is that this person has a lot of red flags around her name. Because she does. And this is the guy that I was just reading to you guys about, the John of God. The John of God guy says John of God was once hiked by Oprah. Now he's accused of abusing hundreds of women. Why is Oprah associated with these men? Y'all telling me she don't know anything about it, but she's friends with these people. She's running in these circles. And every time you look around, somebody in her circle is being accused of trafficking, assault, rape, kidnapping. And she knows nothing about it. She don't know nothing about it. Is that what y'all saying? She don't know nothing about it. She just so happened to be in the same circles with these people. I don't trust that bitch as far as I can throw her. I do not like her, and I never have. I think she knows more about what happened with Whitney Houston and Bobby Christina than we know about. These are my opinions. These are my opinions. And this is not the last time that her name is going to come up. But this is the circle she runs in. And you've seen a few of these other celebrities' names come up multiple times in these situations. You think the situation with Diddy is any different? How many celebrities do you think are affiliated with Sean Combs? These people running in the same circles, whether you want to believe it or not, they are. And that includes Oprah Winfrey. No, I don't trust her ass. No, she can never help me or my children or any of my family. If I had anything to do with it, hell no. Hell no. I do not trust her. Mm-mm. Nope, 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 nope. I got another picture for you. If y'all want to see another picture, I'm going to show you another damn picture. Look at this picture. And this shit should send chills up your spine, in my opinion. Look at this. What the hell is this? Who the hell is this right here? Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Given what we know now about this person, what the hell would you be thinking if you saw this now? Given what we know about this person. I'm going to read some of these comments. Somebody said, Harvey looked like the son in my elementary school drawings. Somebody said, this is creepy. Somebody else said, on every level, even Oprah looked like a madame. I think I even called her that in one of my videos because I have a whole series on her. I already started. Because I still don't like what I saw in the interaction between her and Bobby Christina. Hell no. Someone said this is repulsive. Her body language says no. And when they say her body language, they talking about this lady here. This young lady here. Somebody said Harvey Weinstein is a convicted rapist, sexual predator. Many actresses or musicians' career would be instantly catapulted by sleeping with him and his weird ass thing. Ugh, that makes my stomach hurt. Somebody said, not shocking, Oprah has very few scruples. Her show has promoted several toxic grifters, charlatans, and even a few mass rapists. They, at the very least, don't do their homework and more probably only actually care about eyeballs. There's a price you pay with everything that you do. But when you sit back and offer or have a hand in someone else being deprived of their choice, or putting them in a situation where they have to have their morals or their values challenged, I have a problem with you. I have a problem with you. I especially have a problem with a woman who does this to another woman or girl, child. That's a person in my mind that does not have a nurturing bone in her fucking heart. If she can do something like that. Some people feel like, well, they were once taken advantage of and they made it out okay. You can do it too. And I'm going to leave it at that. Let's listen to, I found this Instagram post by Sloan. Let's listen to what he's saying, like what he has to say, because I thought this was interesting as well.
Oprah on blast. He seemingly suggested in the caption that Oprah knew the Hollywood producer was mistreating women.
He took hold of me and stood me in front of the mirror. And he's like touching me, rubbing me, and he's like, just relax.
And if we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment.
Oprah Winfrey will do anything to defend her powerful friends, even when her friends, like Harvey Weinstein, are complete monsters. She was there while he took advantage of hundreds of women. Harvey even used his friendship with Oprah to trap victims. But Oprah didn't stop it, and she sat on the sidelines and maybe even provided Harvey with additional victims. This is a sick situation and a twisted friendship. So let's get into it. Oprah Winfrey has built a reputation for herself, but it hasn't been able to withstand the test of time. And that's her own fault because her behavior does not align with what she preaches. And today I want to talk a little bit about Harvey Weinstein. I feel like that name is so triggering because he's essentially what kicked off the Me Too movement, because he's a sick man that Oprah, for whatever reason, continues to support. And it's because these two go way back in time. They've had a professional relationship that stretches back 2 decades. There are many photos of her kissing and hugging Harvey Weinstein at ceremonies and events.
So Rose McGowan has put Oprah on blast. He seemingly suggested in the caption that Oprah knew the Hollywood producer was mistreating women.
He took hold of me and stood me in front of the mirror. And he's like touching me, rubbing me, and he's like, just relax.
And if we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment.
Oprah Winfrey will do anything to defend her powerful friends, even when her friends, like Harvey Weinstein, are...
I just wanted y'all to see that. I wanted y'all to see that. I'm sorry, but no. I'm not going to let this go because she knows what's going on in the circles that she runs with. The people that her network circles, she knows what's going on in those circles. Regardless if she tells you or not, she knows. She's not just going to be around people, associate with people, go to their parties and events, advocate for the services and stuff like that without knowing these people. She knows. No matter how much she's talking or not talking, what she's choosing to talk about, she knows. But like I said, keep in mind that we have two big situations going on at the same time. If you're distracted by one and not paying attention to the other, something's going to get missed. Something's going to go over our heads. I'm saying that this is not a time for you not to pay attention to what is going on across the board. Do not let this election distract you. I also want to show you this. I was looking at this earlier and I was like, they do sound a lot alike. Their modus operandi, if you will, it sounds a lot alike. It says Sean Diddy Combs' luxury yacht draws comparisons to Epstein Island amid sex trafficking probe. And remember, Oprah Winfrey was on this list. The Epstein Island list, okay? Like Epstein, a financier who had his own private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Combs has been accused of luring victims with his luxurious lifestyle and in some cases assaulting them aboard a yacht he rented for trips to the Virgin Islands and St. Bartholomew. Some of the most explosive allegations have come from a February lawsuit. Producer Lil Rod, real name Rodney Jones, filed against Combs, alleging a pattern of sexual assaults and sex trafficking he claims are recorded on hidden cameras throughout the model's homes. Now, all I'm going to say is, would it seem far-fetched for somebody in your circle to learn a new method of operation by someone who was already engaged in this type of work? No, that's not far-fetched at all. What I am saying is that it's nothing for a mentoree to learn from a mentor. That's what I'm saying. The types of allegations against Combs, very, 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 very similar to Epstein. This was when his house got raided. This is when he was given the key to the city. But I think this is around the same time. This just happened. In 1991, this is also the same year that one of his alleged victims said that Sean Combs essayed her after she was incapacitated by a drink given to her by Combs. He took her back to his apartment where he essayed her and recorded it. This was in the same year. When this stampede took place. At the time, Combs was with his girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez. But if I ain't mistaken, Sean Combs was also with Kim Porter. Somewhere around this time. Where when him and J-Lo got together. Which I feel like her name is another name that you may hear again. This is a picture of P. Diddy and R. Kelly. Okay? Because this seems to be a whole fucking entourage of pedophiles associated with P. Diddy. He's got pedophiles all around him. All around him. These are all celebs. All of them. These are the people that run in their circles. That have been accused and found guilty of these types of crimes that Diddy is now facing. I mean, this goes on and on and on and on. Look at Cuba Gooding Jr. He was one of the people being accused by Rodney Jones in his lawsuit of assault. Another celebrity. Someone said it is like Epstein. It borders on that. And the reason being is that these videotapes are going to be very interesting. I wonder why. Because of the types of activity going on these islands. And Epstein had already been convicted of SA with minors. It's like once the lawsuit started, they did not stop. Oh my gosh. Okay. What I feel like is happening is everything is coming out. Everything is crashing down. It's going to be way more people. Way more people's names that are going to surface if they haven't already because of this. But here is the other video that I wanted y'all to see. It's the other video I wanted y'all to see. Before we get into this Unite for America rally with Vice President Kamala and Oprah Winfrey. Just listen to this real quick.
Deviance is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
You might haven't noticed that, folks, but it seems like Cat Williams dropped a not-so-funny bombshell on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, and Diddy is caught in the crossfire. Cat spared no details, diving into the shocking revelations about Diddy's notorious parties that may make you think twice about his connection to one certain Jeffrey Epstein. Williams spilled the tea on turning down an invite to one of Diddy's star-studded bashes, claiming it's because of alleged rumors of questionable activities happening behind closed doors. In Cat's words, he needed to protect his integrity from the wild happenings at Diddy's soirees.
So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
you will tell it.
But that wasn't the end of it. Cat confidently declared he had receipts to back up his jaw, dropping statements, leaving everyone wondering what evidence he holds that could rock Diddy's world. In his own words, Williams emphasized his stance. Regardless of Diddy's wealth, fame, or power, I am not into men, and I am not going to sleep with you. As Cat Williams unleashed his controversial remarks,
I don't think that he even needed to say that, because it's like, if I tell you no, don't keep fucking asking me. If you're going to keep asking me after I tell you no, then clearly your ass got an issue with boundaries. Because at this point, you begging and you pleading, I think something fucking wrong with you. You don't like to be told no. Respect boundaries, dude. If somebody tells you no, the answer is no.
also hinted at the possibility of all deviants being exposed in 2024. Considering the shocking new details and names that emerge in Epstein case, it's clear that Diddy's name is also dragged into the scandal.
Thousands of pages of court documents tied to Jeffrey Epstein have been made public and include the names of 150 people who were in contact with him.
Both these evil men share their love for mistreatment of others, and according to Kat, there's more between them than a mutual interest in.
They seem to have something in common, don't they? Abuse of women, abuse of females. We already know that Puff Daddy is guilty of that. Epstein was guilty of that. Both of them.
Such vile activities. And if you think Kat's the lone wolf howling about Diddy, think again. 50 Cent stirred the pot a while back, implying some interesting thoughts about Diddy's intimate preferences in a hospital bed Instagram post surrounded by stuffed animals. The caption said, "Sorry, I can no longer help you guys. Soon, you will all be not straight and happy."
What he said was, "Sorry, I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puff Daddy.
Report to the nearest rainbow." In the interview, 50 Cent clarified that he wasn't calling Diddy out just for fun. In fact, he was raising an eyebrow at his fruity behavior.
He says things, he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity.
50 Cent dug deeper into specific instances that had him questioning Diddy's intimate choices. He recounted a jaw-dropping encounter at Chris Lighty's wedding, where Diddy made a suggestion that left 50 Cent baffled. Apparently, Diddy told him he'd take him shopping, and 50's reaction was pure disbelief. The incident fueled ongoing speculation within the hip-hop community about Diddy's real intentions. But 50 Cent isn't the only one stirring the pot. Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, stepped into the spotlight with his own revelations. Gene shared how he went on a wild trip to an exotic bookstore in Atlanta with Diddy, where his boss' surprising purchase of a disc labeled as butt plugs raised eyebrows.
This is a classic example of somebody who is perpetrating a lifestyle that they are afraid of the public finding out about, i.e., they're faking the fucking funk. I don't like that. You're living a lie. Your true nature is only seen by the people in your circle or around you. But when you expose, instead of you standing on the fact that you're gay, because at this point, I believe he is gay. And I don't believe he gay. Shit. He is. And this is my opinion. I don't give a shit what y'all say. This is my opinion. He like boys. He like butt. Okay? And I believe he's gay. I don't believe he's bisexual. I believe he's gay. I believe that the women were a means to an end. And I'm going to keep saying that. He's gay. But he can't be himself, be who he is, and represent the genre he's known for. He could not. He was living a lie, is what he's doing. He was living a lie.
And he was like, yo, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, yeah. You could do it by yourself, brother.
Now, back to Cat Williams, who claimed that Diddy was making the same offers to everyone in the industry, hoping to lure a new victim into his den. Apparently, the comedian was supposed to fall for the music mogul's promises as well, but he didn't feel like bending under the reign of Puffy, so he refused. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about, right? Because P. Diddy be wanting to party, and you gotta tell him no. Now, Diddy's relation with other men in the industry are well known, and here's why Kat believes that the music mogul could also be a part of Epstein's secret freak-offs. And moreover, even riding with him all along when the two of them were done playing with their victims.
It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't.
With accusations flying from all corners, it seems Diddy's mysterious lifestyle is keeping everyone on their toes. Fans clearly side with Kat in this one, so he might be telling the truth that others are too afraid to tell. As one person commented, Kat has more integrity in his pinky fingernail than Diddy has in his entire body. So many people have already said Diddy is a deviant. And another user added, Diddy is so disgusting, I can't hardly stand to hear his name mentioned. But folks, the Diddy drama is with us until the end, and thanks to Kat's revelations, it's spiraling into a web of shocking connections to Epstein. Well, Diddy's paradise was already tarnished with lawsuits, with allegations so chilling they draw comparisons to the infamous Jeffrey Epstein saga.
I don't want to say fabricate, but talk about others in his orbit.
R&B singer Kessie kicked off the firestorm when she filed a federal lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of a...
Like I said, people who are running in these circles with them. Only these people would have this knowledge. But as soon as these people try to talk and get the message out to the public, they're being suppressed. There's some kind of suppression that's happening at the same time, where it's like you can be privy to this, but you can never talk about it. Or we're going to end your career, or we're going to end, whatever you got going on. It could have been this type of situation in both situations with Epstein and Diddy.
The years-long cycle of toxic and harmful relationship. In the aftermath, 2 more brave women stepped forward, filing similar lawsuits against the music mogul. Now, a 4th woman, still unidentified, has joined the growing list of accusers, claiming a horrifying ordeal dating back to 2003 when she was just a high school student. Diddy has vehemently denied all allegations against him, expressing frustration and vowing to fight for his name, family, and the truth.
But I'm not playing. I'm back outside and I'm fighting back.
As the legal battle unfolds, the gravity of these accusations and their eerie resemblance to the Epstein scandal is sending shockwaves through the entertainment world. Survivors in both cases continue to find the strength to share their stories, drawing parallels to the prophetic words of Cat Williams, who foresaw big deviants facing consequences in 2024. The internet buzzes with lists of individuals who have been connected to Epstein's island. The eerie similarities between Epstein's deeds and the accusations against Diddy add another layer of complexity to this unfolding saga.
Pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about.
Just like Diddy, Epstein's wealth fueled a life of opulence, marked by multiple properties, including a lavish mansion in Palm Beach, Florida, a ranch in New Mexico, and the infamous private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, dubbed Little State James. His extravagant parties, shrouded in secrecy, became legends, with whispers about the influential guests who frequented his properties. Now, as his victims say, it was an unholy place with many bigwigs involved. We're not gonna shut up. We didn't do anything wrong here. These perpetrators did this to us. They hurt us, and now we're standing up for it. As the expose intensifies, Diddy's fate hangs in the balance. The echoes of Epstein's sordid saga serve as an ominous backdrop, adding more troubles for the music mogul. You see, it may seem like he won't withstand the approaching storm.
But that's why you were seeing so many of these lawsuits toward the end of last week. But
Epstein's legal saga took a controversial turn when he was granted work release privileges, affording him extensive time outside prison walls. The leniency of his sentence and the circumstances of his plea deal fueled public outrage, questioning the fairness of the justice.
We all know at this point that the justice system is not fair. And I want to point out something. I remember watching a couple of days ago after P. Diddy's lawyer attempted to get him bail the second time, and it was denied. When he came out and spoke to the press, I noticed that he injected this little proposal for where Puff Daddy could go to do his detention time, because they tried to get him out of where he was. So he kind of offered up another place that they can put P. Diddy, which I thought was interesting. Why say this out loud to the public or whatever the case? Why you do this unless you're trying to bring awareness to it, or you're trying to get it to whoever it's intended for? Because he can stay where the hell he at, in my opinion. But I do feel like the justice system is not fair, and these celebrities do get treatment that the rest of us commoners wouldn't be able to get, and that is not fair. Period.
Justice system. Many contended that Epstein's wealth and connections had shielded him from more severe consequences for his crimes. A scenario eerily reminiscent of how Diddy swiftly brushed aside Cassie's recent accusations with a quick settlement, probably thanks to his wealth and power.
she filed it on Thursday, and just over 24 hours later, they settled.
However,
and nobody settles that damn fast for that much fucking money and then say, this is not at all an admission of guilt. Right.
Epstein was caught and convicted. Maybe their time when Diddy's thick wallet won't cover his crimes. After years of whispers and allegations, the wealthy financier was finally facing justice for his alleged crimes. Epstein faced charges of paying girls for intimacy and utilizing them to recruit others between 2002 and 2005. The unsealed indictment detailed the shocking accusations, asserting that Epstein exploited dozens of victims in his residences in both New York and Palm Beach. According to the indictment, Jeffrey Epstein mistreated girls for years, operating a scheme in which girls he victimized would recruit others for Epstein to exploit and mistreat. Epstein exploited girls who were vulnerable to his actions, enticed them with cash payments, and escalated his conduct to include intimate acts. Sounds quite familiar, and the stark parallels between Epstein's modus operandi and the allegations against Diddy add another layer of complexity to the unfolding narrative surrounding the music mogul.
No, Savannah, the allegations are horrific, and if you include not only Sean Diddy Combs, but his associates...
The scrutiny surrounding Epstein's influential connections underscores the importance of thoroughly investigating and holding accountable all individuals who may have been complicit or aware of his activities. Cat Williams' point about dark activities occurring in the backgrounds of the lives of famous individuals prompts the question of how they managed to evade public scrutiny while engaging in such behavior. Diddy, in particular...
Whoever at this point does not believe that this types of stuff goes on in these circles, you might as well not even listen to this stuff. Like, you just need to turn it off. There's no helping you, okay? If you still believe that this shit is not happening after multiple situations of this with these celebrities, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, now P. Diddy, the same shit. The same shit. The same types of shit. That ain't no damn coincidence. It's not.
Has seemingly flown under the radar for for his shady activities.
P. Diddy be wanting the body, and you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Now, in the light of the recent revelations, it's worthwhile to examine Diddy and other celebs who faced legal troubles and explore the strategies they employed to escape legal consequences. Apparently, there's still something we don't know about him and his wild parties, and the sad story of the music mogul's DL activities may surface soon enough. While Kat was adamant to shock people with his truth, many already guessed about the links between Diddy and Epstein. As one person commented, "I have been saying this about Puff Daddy since he first came out. All my friends used to call me a hater because of this." And another user added, "You can't even put Diddy in jail because you know that MF will purposely be dropping soaps left and right." Well, Diddy's drama has a lot of dark turns and chapters, and it's just a matter of time before he will be linked to other disgusting figures and finally goes to jail. But
well, I guess we at that point now where he's in jail. That's where we at now. He's in jail. Okay, but this time this video is really long, so let me edit, and then I'm gonna have to come back with getting into this Kamala Harris and Oprah video. But I had to go through that so that y'all will kind of have an understanding of why I feel like this whole situation with Kamala and Oprah is sketchy, because of Oprah's affiliations. And it's not just her. It's not just her. You heard me go through all these other names. But let me edit this, and then I'm going to have to come back and do the other part.